Well, Rossane Barr breaks down in tears during her first interview since ABC canceled the hit revival of her show after a tweet that was aimed at former Obama advisor Valerie Jarrett. Many viewed it as overtly racist.
I horribly regret it. Are you kidding? I've lost everything. And I regretted it before I lost everything. And I said to God, I am willing to accept whatever consequences this brings because I know I've done wrong.
Joining us now, America's rabbi and longtime Rossane Barr friend, Rabbi Shmuley Boteach. Thanks for being with us tonight, Rabbi.
Thank you for having me, Shannon.
She was obviously very emotional in this interview you had with her. She says she's lost everything. She sounded very remorseful, too, and said she knows that she's going to have a price to pay.
Well, a lot of people are commenting on the death of civility in America, but maybe more consequential is the death of forgiveness. Here you have a woman that is quite well known, prepared to show such extreme vulnerability, extreme anguish, emotional brokenness, almost begging to be forgiven for something that she acknowledges was a terrible error. And she has said it over and over and over again. And I think it's time that we just allowed her to make restitution and rectification for what she did, because we have to be a forgiving people. I mean, it was Martin Luther King, who she says is her idol in this podcast, who said that those who are bereft of forgiveness are also bereft of love, and we must be a much more forgiving nation.
She talked a lot about how she has African-American children in her family and family members, and that she's not a racist. She said that she wasn't thinking of Valerie Jarrett in those terms, wasn't sure of her race, didn't know her race. What do you make of those explanations? You've known her a long time.
Well, I've known Rossane for almost 2 decades. I've never heard her utter an iota of racism. I've never heard of a scintilla of bigotry come out of her mouth. We all know that Rossane is a provocateur. We all know that Rossane does things with elbows that could upset people, but I've never heard real prejudice or bigotry. So you have to put things in context. And what kind of shocks me is, you know, we recorded this about a month ago, and we did not release it because I felt that she needed to reflect on what she had said. It was very vulnerable, very emotional, and that she had to be comfortable with it. And she finally made the decision that, yes, it could be released. And it's made a very big impact because I think the moral courage she showed to take full responsibility and asking people not to defend her. Yes, she does offer explanations as to what happened, but she doesn't offer excuses as to what happened. She said that she was wrong. She takes full responsibility, and she's paid a huge price. Let me also say that she gained nothing by releasing this interview because her show was already canceled. ABC a few days ago already announced that they're replacing her show with something called The Connor. Her character has been written out of the show. So the only thing she gains is to restore her credibility on the value system that she believes in, which in this case is Judaism, the Jewish faith. She takes the Torah very seriously, and that has been kind of the mainstay of our friendship, studying the Torah, and she wanted to assert her values, that all people are created in the image of God, as the book of Genesis says in its very first chapter.
Yeah, I know that she talks about repentance, remorse, and recompense, and having to work through each of those things. We've all probably been there at some point in our lives. We've also seen in America a lot of people who get a second, third, fourth, fifth chance. We'll wait and see if this interview has an impact and how it plays out. Rabbi, thank you very much for sharing it with us.
Thank you, Shannon. I hope we all just have more heart and more forgiveness.